Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, my friends. Team Awakened Orochi is now out for the King of Fighters 15. I figured I'd throw together a video, not only just kind of going over all the characters and just what they're all about, because they are quite different than the original CYS, but also just maybe give you a little bit of some tidbits, some hints, some tips and tricks and all that kind of stuff for all of them. Maybe not a traditional full guide on each specific character like I'm known to do, but enough maybe to make you a little dangerous with everybody. So that said, let's get into training mode here and let's talk about them as a whole first. So now let's just talk about what Team Awakened Orochi is. Yes, in a lot of ways they are similar to the base Chris, Yashiro, and Shermie. Like, they share a lot of the normals, right? And for most of them, like, especially for Yashiro and especially for Shermie, that's a great thing. Like, they have some of the best normals in the game. You wouldn't want to change those normals for nothing. Like, Yashiro jump D, like, you would never want to give that up. So that's great. You don't have to. Same thing with like Shermie. Stand C is still the great button it is. Jump C is still the absolutely ridiculous button that it is, especially when it comes to like cross-up stuff. Like, it's all there, it's all still good to go. So they do share a lot of similarities in the normals, although not one-to-one. What do I mean by that? Well, something like this here. So, Yashiro, well, he can do something like this. He has target combos that regular Yashiro does not have. He also has a target combo. It's just straight up light punch and a heavy punch, just A and the C, right? And it works if it's a close light or a far light, doesn't matter. Both of them work. Once again, regular Yashiro does not have this. So there are some differences, but for the most part, a lot of the key normals are still in place. And if you learned a lot of the character links, like a lot of those links are still in place, right? So you don't have to relearn a lot of the normal paths. But each character is fundamentally different when it comes to the specials. So Yashiro is the big brawler, right? Orochi Yashiro, no, man. He's a grappler's grappler, to put it lightly, right? He's going to be dunking you left, right, front, center, every possible angle. Now, Shermie, who is a grappler, right? Nah, Orochi Shermie's a zoner. So there's definitely key differences in the base moveset, is what I'm trying to tell you. That is one of the most important things and why these characters remain so popular, because even though back in the day people would say they hate clone characters, but honestly, considering how wildly different the Orochi versions are from the base versions, people love both of them, right? A lot of people run 2 Yashiros on a team, 2 Shermies on a team, right? And you can do just much the same in this game. So that said, now that out of the way, I'm just going to go through each character here, so there'll be timestamps, just giving you an idea of what they are all about, and also just a couple tips and tricks here and there. So let's start Orochi Yashiro. So first thing, grappler, right? Frame 1 command grab, you better believe it. And it's a vicious one. And it's trivial for him to combo into and all that kind of stuff. You're just going to be dunking people left and right. Another thing here too, thanks to the changes, his command normals, forward A and forward B, when you combo into them directly, they gain basically a follow-up. If you just hit CD together, it'll give him your CD. It's different, right? It doesn't wall splat, but it's just more damage in the combo. So much more, in fact. Here's a basic 1-bar combo for him. So that's it. An EX or whatever. Just normal, command normal, special, super. 500 damage. Pretty decent, honestly. Now, to be fair, the one thing is, depending on your spacing, that might put you out of range. It's not perfect, but if you're looking for something always guaranteed, close normal, command normal, grab, and then like end in the level 1 super, and like you'll still get good damage regardless of jumping or not, right? His damage is definitely slightly above average, for sure, to heavily above average if you can get specific setups and specific spacings. His big command grab, that's half circle, back, forward, and punch. So light punch here is the frame 1 grounded one. Heavy punch is actually to catch people in the air specifically. So if you're comboing someone and they're airborne, that's the one you want to do. And EX. EX is an OTG. So similar like, say, Geese Howard, right? So if you can do something that can end a hard knockdown, which is pretty easy for him, because he's got a lot of moves that do hard knockdown, well, Easiest thing in the world, just to pick people up and start dunking them. Besides that, he's got the run grab, just like Shermie as well, at the right ranges, and the light kick version, which is faster startup. It's for the most part unreactable. People are just not going to perceive it, especially when like they're going to be like looking for like, you know, hop D or like whatever stuff you're going to be tossing out, right? So you're going to be able to sneak this in a fair bit. Also, comboable. So if you're in a position here to say use that new chain normal here of stand light and do stand heavy, you can't get too many special moves off it, but you can always get that because the startup's good enough that it'll reach, so that's always handy to do. And if you want to do EX, then you just get more damage on top of the speed with more range. If nothing's going your way, at the very least, it's a good gotcha, right? It'll catch people. Of course, we'll go back as the leap. So if you do punch follow-up, it's just basically it's a hard knockdown. And once again, pretty much the main use is just so you can always get the EX command grab. It's just free damage, right? And you can end a lot of combos in it. One of the big things here is this half circle forward grab. So this one's slower, but it whips people up and dunks them. Now, you might notice here, doesn't do as much damage, but there's a reason for it. Because since they're juggled, well, you can follow up. So here we are. Oh, hey, forward kick connects. And if forward kick connects, all of a sudden, boom, there we go, right? We created a setup into a hard knockdown. And then we can get the OTG, right? So, you know, there's a lot of uses. Also, the old gimmick, if you max right before you hit the ground, it'll do more damage because damage is only tallied like when the hit connects. So we can see here versus like the regular, if you don't touch it, does 105. If you do this and then max right after the fact, does 131. I don't know if it'll ever come up much, but it's funny, right? Also, EX version of the leap is a proper leaping command grab, and you have so much advantage you actually have enough time to run up and get a close normal and go into whatever combo you want. So if people are sleeping at the wheel, it's a good one to get. Other fun stuff too, since he has the EX grab as OTG, true OTG, that gives his stand CD a lot more teeth, as he can follow up anywhere on the screen and bare minimum get that for a cool just shy of 200 damage. Big thing to note here too as well, his supers. So the one super, the dunk super, it's easy enough, right? Like, it's the easiest thing in the world to add to any combo because you're going to end most combos and grabs. So just use it and abuse it, get your damage. That's awesome. But like any way you end a combo, you're going to be able to get it. So like, just use it. But the other super, so this is a leap grab and its uses are not as immediate apparent. You know, like an odd duck here, it's double half circle back and kick. But the thing about this guy here is it is true projectile invincible, and as far as I can tell, projectile invincible frame 1. So if you're up against a character like a King or Athena and you just know that crap's coming your way, it can be worth the bar just to send a message like, I'm not going to play this game, you know, treat me with some modicum of respect. But right there, you got to watch out, right? So the light kick version, as you see here, travels a different distance than the heavy kick version, as you can see there, right? And the level 2 version, you have no real say in it, right? It's going to go the fixed distance that it's going to go. So that one's going to be far. So generally speaking, at distances you want to like enforce some respect. The light kick version is the one to go for. But still, there you go. So just keep in mind, he does have at least one solid anti-zoning tool. Besides all that, not too much else to say. He's a grappler and King of Fighters. You know how this goes, right? You're going to use a lot of shoulder hops, use his amazing buttons. It's a big blessing he keeps those regular Yashiro buttons in this game because there's something else. If you're just looking for gimmicks too, keep in mind too, without doing any combos, his command normal forward light punch is an overhead and it's a true hard knockdown, which means, of course, naturally, you get the OTG grab, so that becomes a lot more threatening, right? Like, the big thing is, he just doesn't need that much meter, right? Like, just find whatever combo you're going to do, and once you got it, then just go for like a level 1 grab super, get your damage in, right? It's a pretty simple game. The one thing that is a big help, though, the level 1 command grab super here, the ubiquitous one here, it is very easy to combo into the level 3. So if you happen to have that extra bar there, you can do your Gamma Wave, and then get your big Batista bomb. So he doesn't need a lot of meter, but if you just want to do like a level 1 to a level 3, the option is there. So all around, just pretty decent grappler. Now let's get into it with Orochi Shermie. So once again, unlike regular Shermie who's a grappler, she is more of a zoner. So the big thing here is cortical back and the punches. So cortical back light is a projectile goes about 80% of the screen, not full, and cortical back heavy goes full screen. And has a slightly delayed timing, as you can see there. And just FYI, the hit at the start here, it's not for show. Like, it does count for combos, but if a projectile is coming your way, the first hit will destroy projectiles with the heavy punch version, the C version of the move. So not only is your zoning halfway decent with this alone, which we'll get into more here, but your counter zoning is also decent because you can be rest assured with correct timing that you can just blow through the enemy's projectile and get your own through. Now, another way she's great at controlling space is the half circle forward series. So this is all your buttons. Half circle forward, light punch. Well, it's just a big old orb, right? And it's active long time. Like, she actually returns to neutral before it leaves the screen. That's light punch. And then here's light kick. Here's heavy punch. And here's heavy kick. As you see there, right? So it's basically 4 avenues to control the screen. Doesn't quite go full screen. As you see there, that's about as far as she goes, right? But still, it's just a way to eat space. And once again, it's very active. Like, the enemy can easily jump into it or whatever. Like, they can be there past the initial summoning, then, like, run into it, right? So between that and the more traditional fireballs, this is how Orochi Shermie controls space. Now, none of these characters have existed in the game before with EX moves. And, you know, we went over the Yashiro section. Like, he's got the EX OTG grab that helps because he has a lot of ways to get it. But I feel Shermie benefits the most and by a lot here because the EX version here. So EX 2 punches. It becomes more like a traditional fireball, I guess you could say, right? But, you know, she's already got one of those. So kind of whatever. Like, yeah, it does more damage. But EX kicks. Would you look at that? So it starts from the far end and then travels towards Shermie. So for gimmick, ski gauze, control, neutral, like all the things, that's already great. Like, you're not going to find too many moves like that in fighting games, right? But here's where it gets extra busted. So this move persists even after Shermie gets hit. Normally how stuff like this works in fighting games is if you got your crazy thing that, you know, seems extra strong, if you get hit while it's on screen, the thing goes away. In this game, not happening. You want to see how crazy this gets? Look at this, look at this. Oh, I got counter hit out of it. Whoops, still coming. I can get counter hit out of the freaking move, let alone getting hit out of the move, like while it's on screen, and it still comes. So this is like your insurance policy, basically. The enemy cannot play the game the way they want to play the game while this is on the screen. End of story, because once again, doesn't matter if she gets hit. Doesn't matter if she gets hit out of the freaking startup of the move. It's still coming, which means once it connects, oh, well then it's combo time. You thought you hit me? Turns out I'm going to hit you. So yeah, really, really, really good. So besides all that, she's got more stuff. She has her air-only special, which is the big flippy kick here. And if you Tiger Knee the heavy version specifically, you can make it fairly plus on block, actually. Just Tiger Knee, the buffer is a little weird in this game, so it's not the easiest thing in the world. But as you can see there, frame data plus plus. You don't get to know the actual number, but plus plus. So yeah, it's there. Main use here is Orochi Shermie has a different command normal here. So forward and light punch here leaves her airborne. So you can cancel directly into these kicks. And of course, once again, the heavy version, if you cancel into that, then you're very plus on block. So she still maintains like the old combo routes. And, you know, maybe you don't want to switch up too much, but still, that's an option available for you. Now, here's a fun thing, actually. She has an all-new move. Old Orochi Shermie did not have this move. She kind of runs forward and gives you a big old lightning kick. So Chun-Li has lightning legs. Shermie has, like, literal lightning legs, right? So heavy version runs forward a bit and splats the enemy. This is a true hard knockdown. Versus the light version runs only a little bit forward and gives the enemy a knockdown they can tech roll from, right? So this is great for combos, because here's the thing about combos for her. Kind of everything leads to everything. So say EX air legs here. Bounces. Okay. The move we just talked about here, the kick. EX version. Bounces. Okay. How about EX projectile? Juggles. Okay. And the one thing here is they all kind of bleed together. Like, they basically don't use up any juggle points. You can just bleed them one by one by one by one. So say you know you have the guaranteed combo coming up, right? You can actually dump some, like, pretty serious meter into it. So, 450 for, like, a bar and a half, that's not too bad. Like, maybe it's not great, but then again, you know, she has a different archetype. She's not necessarily, like, a big damage archetype, right? But still, that's awesome. And that combo, too, specifically, it can end with the heavy version of the kick, right? So that means splat. And if we splat, that means I can force you to wake up into this. And also, fun fact, she recovers well in time to block any reversal options doing exactly that, right? So she's got a nice little vicious game plan going on here. And in the corner, if you want to get your combo on here, one thing to note, the light version, of course, will go back kick juggles without air resetting the enemy. So that means it's a prime ender for, like, combo enders, that kind of stuff. Like, whatever you want to go for, it works out, right? So that is handy. Also, just in case you didn't notice, her punch super, well, that's like Raijinken for Benimaru, right? And that's very intentional. And her kick super is this silly thing. I know the animation's weird, but it's accurate to how it was back in the day, so that's how it's gotta be. When it comes to super chaining to Raijinken, very easily goes into the kick super, and the kick super very easily goes into level 2 Raijinken, so however you want to play it, it'll work out. Also, to talk to level 3, like, visually it's great. Visually it's great. Because she, like, literally rides the lightning. Like, she's a channel, conduit from the lightning. But it gives some easy mix-up potential. So if we just hold up forward here after the fact, boom, we land right on Chris's head, right? But also super easy cross-ups with super jump. Another thing here, too, like, okay, left-right mix off the bat, that's pretty decent, but whatever, screw you, I'll just roll out. The thing is, it's a pretty good hard knockdown. You land real median, so you try to roll out, you're just going to get throw OS, right? So, can't really do it so good. As far as level 3s go, and I'm sure there'll be, like, way more mix-up potential than the basic stuff I'm showing you right now, right, in the future. As far as level 3s go, like, this puts the enemy in a potential game over situation pretty easy, right? So, Shermie, like, we talked about how Yashiro barely cares about meter. Just give him 1 bar and he's good. Like, that's all he really wants. Just enough to get some damage in. Shermie, she has a lot of EXs. Like, she needs her EXs to get damage in. And she has such good EX moves, like, especially the EX move we talked about there. Supers, you need it for damage. And level 3 is something you actually might want to fish for a lot because it gives you that very strong mix. So, she's probably not going to be your point character is what I'm trying to say, right? She wants that meter. Although, then again, if you're playing nothing but grapplers, or, you know, if you're playing Orochi Yashiro or whatever, and you put him up front, and then you fight a king, okay, maybe you want to put her up instead. I don't know. But yeah, so Orochi Shermie, pretty good. And once again, too, keeps a lot of those good Shermie normals. Jump CD is really good. Jump D is really good. Stand C, close C, all these. Like, she has fantastic normals. She retains those normals, so that's all great. I think Orochi Shermie, pretty cool. And last up, we have Orochi Chris. So Orochi Chris, he still does the moonwalk. I know that's probably number 1 on your mind. He still moonwalks. Don't worry about that, right? But Orochi Chris, definitely pretty different than regular Chris. Regular Chris is like a rushdown monkey. Orochi Chris, well, he's got, like, you know, a proper uppercut style move. He's got fireballs. And he's got the Orochi Chris fireball, which is very different. It's actually 3 separate fireballs, which, if you can line up perfectly, you can have all of them hit at the same time, which does over 100 damage. And let alone that, like, the EX version now, too. Like, if you can space it, man, you get the damage in, right? I always love this move. I just think it's really cool, just because, I don't know, it's just satisfying, right? So, yeah, it's definitely very different than base Chris. Also, the leap here. Now, despite what it looks like, it is not an overhead. So, that's not going to happen. But the heavy version's plus on block, so that's pretty handy. I think it's +2. So, it leaves you right beside the enemy. So, if you're going to challenge, you're going to lose. End of story. Also, a mystery solved now that the characters are out here. So, before he had a proximity unblockable, which was effectively a command grab, right? And the trailer was a little misleading how it all worked, so here's how it works. So this is half circle forward and kick. So half circle forward heavy kick is a strike. So this is blockable. So you want to use that in combos, because it's a hit. You can use it in combos, right? The light kick version, though, well, geez, they're blocking, right? So it has to be a command grab. Nope, it is not a command grab. You notice that green flash here? This is a guard crush. So I think they tried to gimmick in a way. It's a command grab. Like, it is a command grab, right? But they gimmicked it in a way to kind of keep that unblockable feeling. So it's less that you're getting command grab, but I'm guard crushing you. So technically you didn't block it. Like, I don't know. I just find it funny, right? They went the extra mile just to have a mechanical difference, just to show up that this still isn't the command grab. EX version also guard breaks and gives you a lot of frame advantage, so you can just do follow-ups after the fact. But yeah, a lot of what Chris is still here. So the good command normals are all still here. Like, if you want to do Chris stuff, Orochi Chris still does Chris stuff, and don't worry, Jump CD ain't going anywhere. It's still a threat. Now, his game plan's a little simplistic, at least to me. I'm not a Chris player, but, you know, like, Jump D can cross up. Like, combo structure is about what you would expect. So if you do the cortical back punch, that's the rising tackle kind of move here. Combo into an EX version ground bounces. So you can, like, do, you know, whatever given combo. The one thing there, heavy uppercut specifically, is very, very, very generous on when you're allowed to cancel it into supers. So it's 4 hits all in all, and on the 3rd hit here, which takes a while to get to, that's when you can cancel out. So just for like super timing, very nice, very, very generous. Also keep in mind for combos. So once again, going back to the grab, right? So half circle forward, light kick is a true command grab, well, the gimmick we talked about, right? But the heavy kick version is a strike, so you can use it in combos. And that final hit there, if you time it correctly, you can actually cancel that final hit into special moves. So that leads to, you know, combo potential. Also, here's a fun gimmick for you. So since it launches up here, and we can, once again, you know, cancel in the specials, supers, all that, we can use that to our advantage. He's one of the few characters, due to this height, that can actually max mid-combo, like blue max. Like, not just like no regular, no red max and combos. He can blue max mid-combo and still get away with it. So yeah, interesting, eh? Like, I don't know how valid this is. This is obviously a 5-bar combo, but just the fact that he can do it, most characters cannot, I think is pretty interesting. But yeah, Orochi Chris, straightforward as ever. Like, he's going to be really good. Like, he's got all the good normals regular Chris does. The fact that he can just run forward and, like, do the command grab shenanigans too helps. His combo structure is going to be extra decent just because of how everything works. Like, he's just going to be a solid all-rounder. Like, nothing much to complain about. He's just got it all. So overall, I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with the Orochi versions of the characters. They're all faithful to the original versions, although Shermie's got new stuff. Like, this move won't randomly kill her, because that was an issue in some of the older games, that move could actually just kill Shermie, right? But now it won't. But yeah, they're just pretty decent, man. They're fun. They're good. Like, I'm very happy they showed up. They're classics, they're favorites, and they deserve to be here. So hopefully this video gave you a little bit of insight into just to how all these characters work, you know, what's up with all of them. And, well, I guess that's it for now, my friends. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some King of Fighters.
This is the love we make.